how or where can I get tested? As a mixed immigrant status families, if I go to the emergency room, what's my bill going to look like? This is a huge and large fear that everyone in our community is having. When we started saying quarantine, 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 it's hard to do when in our mixed status immigrant families, we live in a tiny apartment with a large group of families. COVID-19 affected my family first. It hit us financially. My brother, my sister-in-law, my father, everyone lost their job except for me. So my check alone was the only income that my family was surviving under to pay our rent, food. Once COVID-19 took my mother, it hit us even harder. It was a lot of trauma. 2 weeks after my mother passed away, I'll never forget, I received the mail. It's a hospital bill. And my father is like, literally like, see, this is why I did not want to go to the hospital. The fact that my father of 62 years old had all the symptoms, he was out of breath, he had high fevers, he was throwing up, he had everything, but he refused to go to the hospital because he kept saying, if I go to the hospital, how is my family going to pay for this? We didn't receive any financial help from the government. A lot of us are not fortunate to have insurance. A lot of us in our mixed status families do not have a social security number, so they're afraid to file unemployment. They're afraid to get any government help because they know it's going to backlash at us at any minute.
About 70% of Americans believe that DACA recipients, for instance, should have access to coronavirus testing and treatment at no cost because they appreciate that, frankly, the community's safety as a whole depends upon all people getting access to the medical care they need at this time. That about 2/3 of Republican voters and 2/3 of Trump voters believed that it is important that all people, regardless of immigration status, have access to free testing and treatment for coronavirus-related conditions.
We went through our funeral arrangements and everything, thankfully to a GoFundMe that our friends and Make the Road had made for us. There's a lot of organizations, nonprofit organizations that do help financially because they know that the checks are not coming in for our households.
Congress should immediately pass H.R. 6, the Dream and Promise Act. It was a bill that the House of Representatives passed last year with a bipartisan vote. Senator McConnell has yet to bring it to a floor vote. Don't use DACA recipients as bargaining chips like we've seen them do time and time in the past. Pass a legalization bill that would allow folks like myself to quote unquote get in line, to have a pathway to citizenship, and to continue to contribute to this country. It shouldn't be so difficult. Public opinion is with us. People, the American people and the American public is with us. We are nurses, doctors, teachers, engineers. We work at the grocery stores. We are in all parts of this economy. And imagine what we could unlock if we were able to create a pathway to citizenship for the whole 11 million undocumented community in this country, what they would be able to do, how they would be able to contribute even more to this country if we would just pass legislation that would allow them to get in line, to legalize, and to finally be fully recognized as the Americans that many of them believe that they are.